The TIE Fighter is right up there with the Millennium Falcon and X-Wing as one of the most iconic ships in Star Wars, even outside of the hardcore fandom. It's got a super distinct look and received some of the best sound design in the franchise. But there are a ton of different TIE Fighter variants, some more specialized and others that are just plain ridiculous. Today we're attempting to cover them all. This is every single TIE Fighter type and variant explained. Let's set a baseline with the OG, the standard TIE Fighter. The basic TIE Fighter design featured a ball-shaped cockpit mounted on pylons between two hexagonal wings. TIE stood for Twin Ion Engine, its propulsion system, which was powered by solar panels constructed on the wings. In order to reduce cost, mass, and energy consumption while improving maneuverability, the TIE Fighter lacked deflector shields. It also didn't have a hyperdrive, requiring it to land on a Star Destroyer to travel through light speed. Furthermore, it lacked an extended life support system, requiring TIE Fighter pilots to wear a portable one. The TIE Fighter's primary armament was a pair of laser cannons which fired green bolts. It was much more effective in space combat, and while capable of operating in a planetary atmosphere, it was at a distinct disadvantage versus other starfighters like the X-Wing. The basic TIE was favored for its low cost and versatility, not for its durability or effectiveness. The prototype TIE Fighter was the first of the TIE line. The line itself was inspired by the Republic's V-Wing starfighter. The prototype TIE lacked structural reinforcement to allow for atmospheric flight, and appeared to have cannons mounted to the wings rather than the chin of the ball pod. The TIE Brute, or Heavy TIE Fighter, was equipped with life support and a pressure-controlled cockpit. It was distinguishable by its extra housing pod, which carried more powerful laser cannons. The TIE Bomber was a booming variant of the TIE line that became the main source of anti-emplacement air support. Star Destroyer captains also liked to send them out to weaken large targets like capital ships in space or buildings on the ground. The TIE Bomber had inclined wings, which maximized its speed and maneuverability while carrying a heavy payload. Unlike the other models in the TIE line, the Bomber had not one, but two central pods, a standard cockpit for the pilot, and a portside ordnance bay for the munitions, which could include concussion missiles and proton torpedoes. The TIE Shuttle looked fairly similar to the TIE Bomber, with inverted wings. There was also another version with the standard wings called the TIE Boarding Shuttle. This variant was designed to transport Imperial officers, plus a squad of stormtroopers between Imperial-class Star Destroyers. Captain Needa made his final voyage aboard one.
Get a shuttle ready. I shall assume full responsibility for losing them, and apologize to Lord Vader.
Before his execution by Darth Vader.
Apology accepted, Captain Needa.
The TIE Lander was very similar to the TIE Shuttle, with 3 pods instead of 2. It could carry a full stormtrooper company for landing on the surface of a planet. The TIE Oppressor was designed to serve as a light bomber that could also be utilized as a fairly maneuverable fighter, similar to the Rebel Y-Wing, though it was deployed in limited numbers. The Oppressor could carry heavy weapon payloads with sufficient armor and shielding to allow the ship to operate in the vanguard of an Imperial assault force. The Scimitar assault bomber was faster than any standard TIE bomber. However, instead of 2 ion engines, it only had 1, thus the lack of the prefix TIE. The Scimitar's cockpit could also eject as a built-in escape pod. The TIE Interceptor was identifiable by the addition of 4 arrow-shaped panels tipped with laser cannons. The Interceptor was a far deadlier opponent than the standard TIE, featuring upgraded engines that provided considerably improved maneuverability and speed on top of its upgraded firepower. The TIE Punisher was a heavy bomber that carried 4 times the payload of a standard TIE bomber. Due to the value of delivering a successful payload, the TIE Punisher had a sturdier defense than any other TIE craft, including deflector shield systems to ensure delivery of the munitions. The TIE Striker was a streamlined variant designed for in-atmospheric missions, identifiable by its horizontal high-speed wings and large central pod. The Striker could also be used in space, but it was less ideal than other TIE models. The craft was useful for shifting supplies and personnel from orbit to a planet's surface, thanks to a larger central pod. The TIE Reaper was similar in design to the Striker, albeit much larger. It was primarily a troop dropship, designed for ferrying troops to flashpoints on a battlefield, such as the Death Troopers during the Battle of Scarif. The TIE Advanced V1 had S-foils which could fold inwards. It was also fitted with improved cannons and engines, basic shields, and a hyperdrive. Overall, the TIE Advanced V1 was an experimental and groundbreaking design that likely inspired our next entry. The TIE Advanced X1 was an advanced prototype flown by Darth Vader. Vader's fighter boasted greater speed and heavier firepower, a hyperdrive, and deflector shield generator. The TIE Avenger was a descendant of the TIE Advanced series, sporting many of the extra features of its predecessors, while also being the younger cousin of the TIE Interceptor. The TIE Defender largely overshadowed the Avenger, and was a project overseen by Grand Admiral Thrawn, as he wished to counter the growing rebel threat. The Starfighter featured a hyperdrive as well as deflector shields, and was easily recognized by its 3 wings mounted around an aft section of the cockpit. These specifications made the fighter much more difficult to destroy than standard TIE fighters. The TIE Defender was considered a fighter-bomber. It was armed with heavy cannons and missiles. Supported by the Emperor and Grand Moff Tarkin, the TIE Defender project was seen by many Imperials as a better investment than Project Stardust or the Death Star because of the Defender's lower cost and the constant delays of Director Krennic. The project was abandoned when Lothal's fuel depot was destroyed in an effort to kill the Jedi Knight Kanan Jarrus. The TIE Defender Elite was an even faster and more durable version of the standard Defender. Sabine Wren speculated that it could outclass the Ghost in terms of speed. The TIE Phantom was a stealth starfighter that was a stark departure from the other starfighters of the TIE line, as its cockpit and wings formed a menacing arrowhead shape. The TIE Phantom's cloaking device and stealth systems were expensive and innovative. When it was activated, the fighter was completely hidden from sensors and eyesight, only leaving a shimmering distortion. A common tactic it used was decloaking, firing a barrage from its laser cannons, and recloaking again. Due to its extremely limited numbers, the TIE Phantom was assigned to the most trusted and experienced pilots, and remained designated as an experimental craft. The TIE Aggressor had an elongated hull with a turret operated by a gunner, and could also be outfitted with barrage missiles. As a fast attack and medium strike fighter, the TIE Aggressor was used against shipping and smuggling, and also acted as a patrol craft. Here's where we start to get really weird. The TIE Mauler was a light Imperial ground assault vehicle that consisted of a TIE cockpit between 2 smaller wings with triangular tank treads. As with its airborne brethren, the Mauler emphasized speed and maneuverability at the expense of the protection of armor and deflector shields. The TIE Crawler was a successor to the Mauler that resembled a TIE fighter cockpit suspended between 2 wingless tank treads. It could be used to climb up steep terrain. The TIE Fighter Boat was an aquatic superiority vehicle designated to operate underwater, but was able to participate in surface assaults. We couldn't find any images for this variant, but it appeared in this book. The Outland TIE Fighter was piloted by Moff Gideon in The Mandalorian Season 1. The Outland TIE Fighter's wings folded when landing on a leveled surface, allowing for ease of access to the cockpit. The TIE Scout was a TIE that was equipped with a hyperdrive and was used for reconnaissance missions. The TIE Hunter was flown by Storm Commandos, which had a wing configuration roughly the reverse of a TIE Interceptor, with smaller and more angular wings. The Hunter was considered the fastest among the Imperial fleet, and its wings folded in a similar manner to an X-Wing fighter. The TIE Vanguard was a short-range ship that featured several communications antennas attached to the ball. These were used to perform scouting and intelligence-gathering missions, often deployed by Star Destroyers to obtain information on enemy ships prior to full engagement. The wings also angled outwards at the top to avoid interfering with the various arrays. The TIE Sentinel was similar to the TIE Advanced with 2 added guns, one dual-target cannon on the back of the vessel and another dual-target gun at the chin of the fighter. The Lancet aerial artillery is the abomination you get when you combine a TIE fighter and a Lambda-class shuttle. Lancets were armed with a powerful proton beam cannon angled for air-to-ground attacks. They were not designed for combat in space. The TIE Bizarro, what a name, had 1 wing and 2 pods. The port pod held the control systems, and the starboard pod had a turbo laser much heavier than the laser cannons equipped by any previous TIE. The TIE Big Gun had, you guessed it, bigger guns which were attached to the wings instead of the pod. The TIE Warhead was essentially a TIE Interceptor with the original cannons removed and replaced by a pair of warhead launchers. The TIE Bomb wasn't a starship at all, but rather a massive TIE-shaped cruise missile for destroying capital ships and space stations. The TIE Booster was attached with a large booster engine on the aft of the fighter and was therefore much faster. The TIE Raptor had 4 short fins protruding directly from the cockpit rather than larger wings. Although not as fast as a TIE Interceptor, it was as maneuverable as an A-Wing. Moving away from the Imperial TIEs, mining guilds were able to use their own TIE variants due to association with the Empire. The Mining Guild used these starfighters to patrol their territory to prevent theft of valuable materials and gases. They featured a yellow color scheme and had a notch of their wing cut out for improved visibility for the pilot. The TIE Predator was created by the Fel Empire a century after the Galactic Republic. It was an incredibly unique design, which had 2 backwards-pointing triangular wings attached to the eyeball-like cockpit. These wings could adjust to a variety of positions, aiding the starfighter's maneuverability. They also folded back fully for docking. TIE Autofighters were remote TIEs that didn't require a pilot. They had smaller, C-shaped wings. On to the First Order. Their standard TIE fighter was an upgraded version of its Imperial predecessor. Advancements included deflector shields, improved solar cells, and a reverse-facing cannon operated by a gunner. This is the ship that Poe Dameron and Finn flew when escaping in The Force Awakens. The First Order also made their own TIE Bomber, which looked like a cross between the Imperial Bomber and Interceptor, with its dual pods and wings angled outwards. The TIE Silencer was specifically crafted for use among the most elite members of the First Order, such as Kylo Ren. As such, the fighter was engineered for speed and handling. It incorporated the latest First Order military innovations, such as experimental stealth gear, meant to foil sensors and tracking. It featured a hyperdrive and a deflector shield generator. The TIE Whisper was basically the First Order's TIE Interceptor. Kylo Ren flew this in The Rise of Skywalker. As such, it had increased speed, range, and more firepower than a standard model. The TIE Dagger was flown by the Final Order, featuring triangular Dorito-like wings. Its cannons were located between the larger wings and the smaller ones. The TIE Baron was a red model of First Order Interceptor, engineered to be precise and lethal. The TIE Echelon is the ship parked at Galaxy's Edge in the Disney theme parks. It was said to carry up to 12 crew members, plus additional cargo. But that about does it for TIE Fighter variants. There were so many that we probably missed a couple, but if that's the case, I'm sure you'll let me know. Also, feel free to let me know which one is your favorite or least favorite. Which would you wish to pilot? Leave a comment down below. Also, check out our channel membership if you wish to support and help us make more Star Wars content. Come join us to chat more at our community Discord server, linked in the description. If you enjoyed today's Star Wars video, we've got more on the screen for you right now. Also make sure to drop a like, and if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe to join the Red Squadron. Until next time, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you. Red 5, standing by.